okay, get 3 pieces of metal,
Okay.
like a piece of stainless steel, a piece of tin foil, and a piece of brass. Okay, so I remember doing this thing, and it's getting weird when he says, okay, close your eyes and find yourself inside the piece of metal. How does it feel? How does it smell?
Okay.
Hold it up in front of you and let it go, and it's rotating against this wall. And I'm like, this is effed up, man. This is bad. And I told Vivian, I said, because we would talk about it every day on our team
Yeah.
thing, and I said, this is jacked up. I said, I'm not climbing into another piece of metal. It doesn't work for me. I didn't get in it. I tried, but it didn't work.
All right, guys, welcome to True Talk. Got a special guest in the house with us today, Jeff Comera. How we doing, Jeff?
I'm doing great, Mike. How are you, man?
I'm doing awesome, man. Thanks for coming up.
Yeah, thank you.
It's a little bit of a journey for you to get here. Well, not journey. You went through some adversity. Lost your wallet.
Yeah, I lost my wallet. Somebody's got a wallet in there.
Yeah.
And maybe they're at the casino.
With a lot of cash, right?
Yeah, but the casino owns that cash now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, someone's probably already lost that.
Yeah.
It's like that old joke, with the salesman open the meeting, like, whoever lost a big stack of money, we found the rubber band. Well, you just lost the money and the wallet. So it's not that joke. It's not funny. But here you are with us regardless. Yep. So let's get into your background a little bit, Jeff. Where are you from originally?
Born in Fort Walton Beach, Florida.
Okay.
Yeah.
Born in Florida. You've been with us since, well, actually, you joined us in 2020.
Yeah.
Then left us and came back 2 years later.
That's right. Yep.
What was your background in before you got into insurance?
Oh, man. I've done a lot of things, Mike.
Yeah.
I'm 63. Dude,
Okay.
So
I thought you were 43.
Yeah. Well, so I used to make, it's weird. So I think I told you, I reconnected with my father.
Yeah.
Went down to visit him. He lived in South Florida. I was living in Huntsville, Alabama.
Okay.
Went down to visit him for a week. I was going to go down there, and I came back about 3 months later.
Yeah.
Got all my stuff, and I moved.
Oh, really?
So,
You loved it that much?
Yeah, I loved it.
How old were you when this happened, roughly?
That was in 1980.
Okay.
No, yeah, 1980. So I was 19 years old, 20 years old.
Got it.
Went down there. My dad, he was with Boeing. That's what took us to Huntsville.
Okay.
And he worked on all the Apollo things. And
Yeah.
then when they were going to transfer to Seattle, he decided, no, I'm not going.
Got it.
He retired from Boeing. He and Mom split up.
Yeah.
He left. His car broke down in South Florida, and that's where he stayed. But he was an amazing talent. He was the old sign painter.
Okay.
Before vinyl. They would fly him into Puerto Rico and some of the islands just to letter, gold leaf the transom of boats, So I went to work for him. And
doing the same thing?
No. I couldn't. Not many can do. But I would dig post holes. Like if a new condominium was going up on the beach, he'd do the rendering for the condo. And we'd have to drive pilings and put those things in, prepare the boards. But every now and then he'd get a neon job, and I'd have to drive up and pick up the neon from this guy up in Fort Pierce, Florida. And I'm taking the check to this guy. And I'd watch him do his work, and it was fascinating. So I decided to go to a neon school up in Wisconsin.
Yeah.
And I went and learned that trade, and that's what I did for.
What is that, neon?
Neon lights.
Okay. So making those
I
actual.
would bend glass. Yeah, I was a
Really?
glass bender. Yeah, so I did that for a lot of years.
Wow.
And,
enjoy it?
oh, I loved it. I was good at it
Yeah.
too, man. I was real good.
Yeah.
And there's not many of them.
No.
So
They're expensive too, neon signs.
yeah, and they're about obsolete too.
Yeah.
The LEDs have taken the place
Right.
of them, and nothing can really replace it, the look of it. But yeah, I did that for a long time. Then I got called into the ministry. So
Okay.
I worked in the ministry for 15 years.
Wow.
And then
This is in Florida still?
no, this is when I moved back to Alabama.
Alabama. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Did you enjoy the ministry?
Man, I did. I worked. So I used to volunteer with a friend of mine. He grew food for low-income elderly people on the campus of University of Alabama A&M.
Yeah.
It's a historic black college there in Huntsville. And they had moved their agriculture farm up north, and they would let us use this land to grow food. And I would just help them build sprinklers, just pick crops, whatever. And I got to know the people, and I loved it. And then I kind of got, well, it's not kind of, I got called into it. I had a friend say, kind of, I don't know, just say, hey, man, the Lord's telling me you need to sell your business and go to work with Mark. And I said, you're not listening to the Lord, man. Because
he didn't tell me that.
No, he hadn't told me that. He said, no, but he's going to. And the funny thing is, we were riding from North Carolina back to Huntsville.
Yeah.
And it's just me and my friend. And he kept on and on and on. I said, dude, if you don't shut up, I'm gonna get out. I'm gonna have you stop the car. I'll find a way home, but shut up. He said, no, man, this is real. I'm going. And then I'm starting, because I have a relationship with the Lord, and I'm like, I don't want to go against what he's saying, but so I put a bunch of fleeces out. Like, if this happens, okay. And then when that would happen, I'd say, I'd throw another one. The last one was my wife. If she's okay with it, okay, I'll do it. And she did.
So all those things happened.
All those things happened. So I decided I would do that, but I would keep my neon shop just in case.
Yeah.
And there's no just in case when you.
No.
Yeah. So I ended up selling that, and I did the ministry for 15 years. So I'd never been on a riding lawnmower, much less a tractor. Dude, I was breaking stuff. Yeah. I remember pulling a disc. You know what a disc is? Like it's an implement that you pull behind a tractor, and they're like these metal discs.
Okay.
They're round. They just cut the ground.
Gotcha.
They cut the ground, and they're cutting the weeds and just tenderizing the ground. So, and I remember making a turn one time, and I hit a guide wire to a telephone pole. Dude, things were jacked up all over the place, and. Anyway, I got good at that.
I asked your buddy, like, are you sure he was saying me? Like, is there another
Exactly.
Jeff?
I said, man, I'm so sorry. I've never driven a tractor, and you put me on this thing, and they were like big tractors.
Yeah. Wow. So all in all, you were in the ministry for about 15 years.
15 years, and then
why'd you leave?
As clearly as I got called in, I got called out.
Okay.
And I bought a business. And I serviced the hospitality industry.
Okay.
I would audit their inventory, find where they were losing money, correct it with the owners so that would stop, like liquor losses.
Yeah. Wow. How long did you do that for?
I had that business from 2018.
Yeah.
I was in it a couple years, and then 2020. Some things happened to us all.
Yeah.
And when all the restaurants shut down, they had no need for my service.
Got it.
And
did you see that coming, or did it catch you by surprise? I mean, obviously 2020 happened.
2020 was weird. I tried to remain relevant, and I was offering my services free. But if they're not selling anything, there's nothing to
It's not an
control.
audit, right?
Right. So, I mean, I would go when they started doing curbside pickups and stuff. I would go to some of the restaurants and just take the food out.
Yeah.
Or even drinks. They got to
really.
They would serve drinks because I mean, the country was going to lose their mind if they weren't serving alcohol.
Absolutely.
So and I had employees. I got PPP money, and I kept them paid until the funding ran out, and I had to let them go.
Yeah.
And then
how'd that feel?
Oh, it was horrible.
Yeah.
It was horrible.
These people you've known for years now, right?
Well,
or some of them.
Some of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. But they understood, and
you just felt helpless, right? Like it's just out of your control.
It's like, you're just waiting for the doors to open again.
Right.
And when they did, some of them took me back.
Yeah.
Some of them took me back in some capacity, but not full capacity. And it was going to be rebuilding the business again. So my daughter was in this business. And she kept saying, Dad, Dad, you need to come on.
Yeah.
Get your license. Get your license. Come on, do this, do this. And finally, she's relentless.
Yeah.
She's relentless. And so I went, I studied for the test. I actually couldn't even take the test in my town. I had to drive to Montgomery. Yeah, because everything was shut down.
Okay.
So I had to go to the state capitol in Montgomery, took the test, passed it, and started.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And have you ever done anything that was really sales related prior to this?
Well, Mike, when I had my neon shop, I did wholesale neon. So other sign companies did neon. They just didn't have somebody that made neon. So
Got it.
I would do wholesale for them.
Yeah.
So I kind of sold that way, and I sold to clients that were retail. I sold alcohol when I was a bartender. I did that for a minute.
Yeah.
And so not in the aspect that
nothing like what we do.
No.
Got it. What did you think when she first approached you with this business? Like, hey, Dad, get a license.
No, I'm getting. This is coming back. I'm going to do this.
Yeah. Oh, you thought your auditing job would eventually?
Yeah, I thought it was coming back. There was. It had to, man.
Right.
I invested a lot of money in it, and I've been building it, and but my plans were thwarted.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Now, you've had kind of two go-arounds with us, right? So back in June of 2020, this is when your daughter first kind of pressured you to get a license, and then you got one. What did that look like when you got started with us?
Well, I was so awkward.
Yeah.
Dude, it was like it was so different. There wasn't much training.
Yeah.
I was doing mainly final expense.
Okay.
And I quickly realized, though I think everybody needs insurance.
Yeah.
When you're on a fixed income and you're making a decision between your medicine, food, and living, usually this is the first thing that goes.
Right.
So there was the chargebacks and me being easily removed from trying to impress more on them that you really need this.
Yeah.
I worked with old people in the ministry.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to mess anybody up, even though somebody was going to pay.
Sure. Yeah.
It was a hard thing. So, and the calling, setting appointments. I remember, and I won't say what leads, but leads. But I would wake up. These new leads came out, and I'd wake up in the middle of the night and I'd check my email and see if there were any within a 4-county area. Yeah. I'd wake up at 1 o'clock, check. I'd buy 2. Then I'd get up another 45 minutes and I'd buy 3 more. And I'd wake up.
What logic was that? What were you trying to accomplish by buying 2?
Have more leads, man. Okay. Because they're limited. They were limited.
Okay. So 2 came available, you bought.
That's it.
Oh, I thought you were like, well, let me buy 2 to try.
No. So I'd get up in the morning. I might have 10 leads.
Gotcha.
To call.
Gotcha.
To call.
Okay.
And then maybe one would answer, and I might say 2 answer. You set 1 appointment.
Yeah.
And it was a struggle.
Yeah.
It was a struggle, and in the frustration of it,
Yeah.
I don't understand.
What caused most of the frustration?
The non-answering of the phone, but when they would answer, saying, "I did not fill that out."
Yeah.
Like your name's on here,
right?
your age is on here. That's not a guess,
Yeah.
It's like, but the denial that they did it, and in the disrespectful ways that they would tell you, or tell me.
Did you take it personal?
I did.
Yeah.
That's a problem.
Yeah.
For me, that's my problem.
Yep.
It's not their fault.
Right.
And I guess I think of how I was raised.
Yeah.
And the courtesy, just common courtesy, man, just almost golden rule type thing.
Yeah.
And to be yelled at, cussed at, and stuff is like, man, why?
It's because you weren't raised in New England, Jeff. That would have been normal.
Maybe,
You'd be like, hey, what's up? So I'm coming over tomorrow at 2 as they're cussing you out. That's how we do it up here.
Yeah.
I was shocked, dude, the first time I went to North Carolina. Walked into Chick-fil-A, ordered the food, and I'm used to like McDonald's and stuff up here. You walk in, and they're mad at you for ordering. It's like, dude, you work here. So I order, and they're like, oh, my God, honey, go sit down. We'll bring it over to you. I'm like, for real? Up where I go, they're like, they want me out of the way. They get mad if I ask for sauce. They forget the sauce, and then you go get it, and they get mad at you. I'm like, but it's not in the bag. What would you like me to dip my nuggets in? So you were raised where, that was like the first thing, how you treat someone, be nice, be courteous. And up here, I mean, you've only been up here a day, but someone already stole your wallet and spent it at the casino. That's how they do it in New England.
I don't know if anybody stole my wallet. I left my wallet.
Okay, there you go.
Somebody probably has it, but yeah, it's all on me. That's something, that is something here.
Yeah.
That hearing Sean over and over and over in the books that I read.
Yeah.
To grab responsibility instead of being the finger pointer, man, that's been huge for me.
Yeah.
Huge.
Because it's easy to do either one.
Yeah.
And whatever one you choose, you believe.
Oh, they're both a choice. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. So how long was that first run with us in 2020 before you said, nope, not doing this?
No, I didn't. I did it, but then I went to another IMO.
Oh, you did?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. They had leads, man. They were a lead company that had leads.
Yep.
And they were an IMO.
Yep.
And I remember waiting like 3 months to get 4 leads.
Wow.
I'm like, what in the world? And I'm frustrated now.
Yeah.
What did I do? Because I had to wait to get recontracted.
Right. So you thought, like, there's obviously an opportunity in this industry. You just thought at the time, well, it's not with you guys. Living First Life's not it. Let me go try something else.
Yeah, and I think too, again, I don't want to point fingers, but there's a culture that comes with things.
Right.
When we would have a team meeting maybe once a month, maybe there was some training.
Yeah.
Sometimes it was griping. I don't know.
Gotcha.
I like the people,
Yeah.
but I was hungry, man. And I would not miss podcast. I spent more time listening to podcasts, the True Talks, all the
Really?
podcasts. Yeah, I did more of that than actual dialing. And,
Right.
it was just, and then so I realized, my daughter called me one day and said, "Dad, you need to come over here and to Vivian's team. She's doing these leads." And I said, "I'm not. If I make another move, it's not going to be in this business. I'm not doing it again."
This is when you were at the other IMO.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Got it.
And Vivian called me and she said, "Jeff," she said, "I care about you," because we kind of came in at the same time and we were part of that other group.
Okay.
Somewhat.
Yeah.
And I think we still are in some respect.
Yeah.
She said, "Jeff, I'm doing these leads. I'm going to let you try them. I'm not trying to recruit you. I don't care where you go, but I care about you.
Got it.
And I want
She's
you
just trying to help you.
That's it." And I tried these things, and man, I'm like setting appointments. I'm going to the appointments. I'm doing okay.
Yeah.
I'm like, dang, finally, there's some. This is real.
Yeah.
And she let me try another batch. She said, "If you want any more, you need to make a decision," And I made a decision. I started my transfer. I said, "Can I come over and work on your team?"
Yeah.
Her and Adriano said, "You can, but here's how it's going to go down. We have a culture here. You're not going to destroy it, and we have a system. We're going to follow it." And I have, man. I love coming to work, and I love working. I just love it. It's
you didn't have that feeling in 2020.
No, I worked hard.
Yeah.
It was just, what was I working hard at?
Right.
I mean, you could try to dig dirt all day long and dig dirt, but if you're hitting concrete, man, it's going to be a minute before you get there.
Absolutely. Yep, no doubt. Now, how much of it was, so obviously different type of leads, but you mentioned their culture, their training.
Oh my gosh.
How much was it a shift in mindset as well?
Huge.
Yeah.
Huge. The mindset training is, we don't have to do it.
Right.
But it makes sense if you do it.
Yeah.
And it makes a total shift in what you do. Now, so I do the reading. That's huge. But that 6-phase meditation every morning.
Yeah.
It's just, I was telling Precious that it's just part of my day. It has to be part of my day. If it's not part of my day, then it's crazy. Things go haywire, man. It's like, what's missing? What happened today that didn't happen yesterday? And you realize, oh, I didn't do the meditation.
Yeah.
Now, there was a time we tried this one thing, It's weird, man. It was real weird, Mike. It was from this Mind Valley thing. Can I say that?
You can say whatever you want, man.
So, so it was this thing that we were doing as a group, and there was one point in it. Every day was something different, and there was one point in it. This guy says, "Okay, get 3 pieces of metal, like a piece of stainless steel, a piece of tin foil, and a piece of brass." Okay, so I remember doing this thing, and it's getting weird when he says, "Okay, close your eyes and find yourself inside the piece of metal. How does it feel? How does it smell? Hold it up in front of you and let it go, and it's rotating against this wall." And I'm like, this is effed up, man. This is bad. And I told Vivian, I said, because we would talk about it every day on our team thing, and I said, this is jacked up. I said, I'm not climbing into another piece of metal. It doesn't work for me. I didn't get in it. I tried, but it didn't work. And she just laughed and said, hey, just do what you could do. So, but that mindset, man, it is so important to set your head straight, to set your expectations on how your day is going to go. Every morning, I go straight from my meditation into prayer, and not in my meditation, as I am seeing how my day is going to go, I'm picturing every client I have a meeting with. And I'm praying for them in my prayer time. Lord, let me help them. Let me help them and do my best to help them, and be kind in doing so. If they don't let me be an asshole.
Right. So. Absolutely. That's so big. I mean, because think about your first go around, you weren't doing that, right?
No.
And I would venture to guess that after a few unsuccessful calls, appointments, you're probably thinking the opposite, right? Like, this guy's not going to have any money. This one's going to be too sick. Like, there's all that you set yourself, because you could do it for good or for bad, right? And whatever you dump in your head, you're going to believe.
Yeah.
I mean, how different was that in the beginning versus?
Man, when you see, if you'd see an agent, and I knew addresses because I was doing local. I'm going, oh, they live there. There's this one tower, like a living tower. I mean, the elevators are broke on it, and it's like it's the dregs, man. And I had appointments in these places, and the cigarette smoke's billowing when you walk in, and it's like you just don't want to go in, but I would go.
Right.
Even thinking, man, there's no way. There's no way.
Right.
And you sit down with the vet that's getting $715 a month, bitching about the government. Only paying them $715 a month. It's hard to help someone like that.
Right.
But now my mentality, like I had an appointment. I try to always if I have time, I call my appointments 5-10 minutes before, making sure they got the link for our Zoom meeting. And
because now you're all virtual.
I'm all virtual. I'm either Zoom or on FaceTime or a phone call. I don't like doing phone calls. I like seeing them. I just like to see them. This guy said, Jeff, it's probably not even necessary, man. I'm pretty sick. I said, tell me what's going on. He told me. I said, and what else? He said, no, that's it. I go, let's jump on the Zoom. End up putting a nice policy in place for him and his wife, that he didn't think he could get. Because he thought, I'm too sick. And it was a good policy. It was a real nice, and it wasn't final expense.
Really?
And he was an older guy. And so there's a couple companies I like taking people to that have a nice price point for that. But he wanted this home paid off for his wife. And when I say older, he was my age. So, anyway, so total different mindset. When he said, hey, it probably won't make sense.
So you've been with us now really since 2022, right? So this last year you helped over
532 families.
532 families. So Hall of Fame. You went from being in-home to virtual, right? How was that transition for you?
It was pretty smooth. The training on it was smooth. It's, Vivian would always say, just act like you're in their home. Look for those pictures behind them. And I always do. You know how you walk into a home and you pick out a couple things and you comment on it, and then you go into and that's what it is. So I'll always make a comment about somebody's family behind them, or a picture, or how beautiful the home is. And
Yeah.
So I like it. I just get to see more families.
Yeah.
And I don't have to stand on doorsteps knowing somebody's in there.
Right.
And they're not
That's
answering,
the worst.
man.
But you dealt with a lot early on, right? I know you
I
said
dealt with a lot of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you take that personal too?
Yeah. I get angry, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd get angry.
You've helped a lot of families. I'd imagine you've had some death claims, right?
Had 2 since Dallas. Working on those now.
Got it.
One's more of a terminal illness.
Yeah.
And we're looking to get in. The most impactful one I've ever had, Alan Moon is this gentleman's name. Yeah. Older guy. I went to their house, and about 5 miles from my place in the city I live, and we sat on their porch, and they both wanted some insurance. She was in a good spot. I wasn't going to try to move her.
Okay.
He was not so much, and so I got him with a company, and he's on fixed income on a card, one of those.
Oh yeah, Direct Express.
Express. So we're limited in where we can go there.
Right.
But I got him a nice, burial policy, $10,000 policy. Over the years, his card got hacked a couple times. Isn't that weird, man? People just prey on the poor.
Yeah.
And so he'd have to get a new card and stuff, and so his policy would lapse. We'd get it reinstated. Yeah. He'd have to make up the payments and such. And I'd always get that email, and I'd call them. And I got a call. I got an email about his policy lapsing. I thought, well, they're going to call me. Mm. And a few days later, Glenda calls me. And she said, Jeff, I said, hey, Glenda. And I said, I figured I'd be hearing from you. I got the notification. She said, about Moon? I said, no, about the policy lapse. And she said, the policy lapsed? I said, yeah. She said, Moon died this morning.
Wow.
I said, okay. And let me check on some things. And I called, and the policy had lapsed 3 days ago.
Wow.
And I pled with them. I even thought about calling Sean, going, man, can you put some fire down these people?
Right.
But the rules are the rules, and so I had to let her know, the policy lapsed 3 days ago.
Wow.
And the guilt that I felt about not calling when I got that email is terrible. I said, Glenda, have you claimed his body? And she said, I can't. I don't have any money. And that really impacted me.
Yeah.
There was something special about them. They were just some good people.
Yeah.
They were hard. They were real hard people. But I said, let me make a call for you. And I called the funeral home, talked to the director, and I said, I want to take care of this for them.
Wow.
And, cremation.
Yeah.
And he said, why would you do that? I said, because I care. Yeah. And she has no money, and I'm not just going to let his body, I don't know what you guys will do with him, but I'm going to take care of this for her.
Wow.
He said, well, if you're going to do that, I'm going to lower the price, and I'm going to pitch in. So he did that. Yeah. And I was able to call her and let her know. And she was so grateful. She calls me all the time. Yeah. She calls my wife. She said, you say hello to your wife. That's my angel.
Wow.
And so
that's amazing.
Yeah. It's I don't know if being in the ministry brought me to a point where I would do something like that. And, as far as financial, I'm able to. Yeah. And to be able to do that for somebody that couldn't.
Right.
That's, I think, not only what our culture in our company has us do, but morally.
Absolutely.
In the end, I look back, and I'm not going to point fingers at myself for it, but I should have been on top of it. That will not happen again.
Yeah.
I will call people about lapse notices.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome. God bless you for doing that. That's amazing. And it goes like we say this a lot, and it sounds like just a slogan, but we meet with a family, we want to put them in a better position, we want to leave them better than they were when we met. That's exactly what you did. And I love too also the kind of lesson coming out of it where you're like, I'm never gonna let that happen again.
Can't. And we get them every day.
Right.
You know, you could take them for granted. Oh, it's just going to draft again.
Absolutely. That's the thing. When you actually start calling them, you realize a lot of times it's not them canceling. A lot of times, sometimes they're changing their bank account, or like your guys, the card gets hacked, or the card expires, or whatever the case may be. But it goes back to what we were talking about earlier, negative versus positive thinking, right?
Yeah.
If you're always dumping negative, and when you see those lapse notices, you go, oh, that's just, that's Charlie. He just canceled his policy. He didn't want it anyways.
Asshole.
Exactly. Yep. You get mad at them. You take it instead of like, you know what? Shit, let me call the guy.
Yeah.
Let me see exactly what happened. Because what's the worst thing is he's going to say, you know what, Jeff, I no longer want it. Cool, but that's probably like 5% of the time.
Right. You're right.
A lot of times it's something simple. Hey, man, we had a lot of expenses this month. The payment bounced. Got a new account, whatever the case may be, but you don't know unless you call. And if you're thinking negative here, you're not going to call.
You're not, because you're afraid that it is a cancellation.
Right.
And that chargeback's about to happen.
Absolutely.
And nobody likes that.
No.
But you just work.
Guess what? If you don't call, you can guarantee that chargeback's going to happen.
Absolutely.
So you might as well give it a shot.
I've recently brought on, I have a dialer.
Yeah.
And I brought on another one just to take care of my back.
Yeah.
I'm horrible at it.
Yeah.
Horrible at
Which is fine. Then you hire someone.
Yep.
Yep.
It absolutely. And we're on top of it now, and I'm excited about the retention that's going to bring about.
Yeah. I remember when we first got going before FFL, we're building agencies, and we'd always have that question for Sean, like, when do we hire staff? He's like, well, you hire them when there's stuff you don't want to do and stuff that you're bad at. You hire them to do that stuff.
Yeah.
Just like that. Hey, I'm bad at the back office stuff. Okay, great. Then hire someone who's good at it.
My wife says, hey, do you think I could make phone calls? I said, I think I'd be afraid of what you cuss back at people.
Yeah.
And you can't even write legibly, so I don't want you writing hand notes to people. I said, you just do what you do, baby. Yeah. But I appreciate it. And she is supportive. She's very supportive. Hey, can I just say one thing about Glenda?
Say whatever you want, man.
So Glenda calls me a few days after that day.
Yeah.
And
Glenda is Moon's
wife.
Glenda is
Moon's wife, or partner.
Partner, got it.
And she said, she had moved to a trailer south of where we live, and she went to get a canister of gas, propane. And she said, she called me because she didn't have reception at her trailer, and she called me from the road, and she said, I went and got this gas, and the lady sent me out with too much money, $50 extra money, and she said, I needed it, but I took it back in there to him.
Wow.
And I thought, man, if somebody could have got away with $50 that needed it, that would have been her.
Right.
She said, but I'm not like that. I get an email a couple of days later from the company that Moon was insured with saying, hey, because I always put an automatic premium loan option on there, that they were going to give her $50.
Oh, wow.
So I called her to tell her, and she said, well, what good's that going to do me? I said, it's 50 more than you don't have,
exactly,
you have now, so just take it and use it for what you need. So,
absolutely.
Anyway.
Well, that's an awesome story. Yeah. Again, God bless you for doing that. So you're working with Vivian Adriano. Yeah. Great culture.
Great.
I mean, I believe they had more Hall of Fame producers than any other agency for the past 2 years with us. So, but I heard something. There was a story about you being removed from a chat for some reason.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Tell me about that.
So, yeah. The frustration that can come with this.
Yeah.
The dials, you look at, and we'd have leaderboards, and there were a couple guys that I looked up to. I talk to these guys a lot.
Yeah.
And I want to be where they're at.
Yeah.
And I'm looking. I think Vivian, she was in Brazil.
Okay.
She was in Brazil. And the way I'm talking to my dialer in the chat, Vivian's part of it. I didn't know that.
Okay.
She's seeing how I'm talking to my guy, Caesar. Yeah. I love Caesar, man. Yeah. Caesar's awesome. But that day, I was struggling, man. I'm like, dude, none of these people are showing up. What are you doing? Why? Just blasting him. Yeah. I didn't cuss him, but
you were angry.
Yeah. So she calls me. She said, what the F are you doing? I said, what are you talking about? She said, I see how you're talking to Caesar. what is going on? I said, well, I'm looking at the leaderboard, and I see so-and-so and so-and-so, and I don't know why I'm not there. I'm working just as hard.
Yeah.
You know, why am I not there? She said, oh, you're comparing yourself. I said, well, yeah, I want to be there. She says, I'm going to take you off of Slack.
Wow.
I said, no, you can't do that. She said, no, I can do it, and I'm doing it.
Yeah.
You're not going to know what you're producing. You just, you just focus on work.
Yeah.
That was November of
last year?
No,
22.
22.
Okay.
November of 22.
Yeah.
The end of December, when we did, she would never tell me my numbers. Never. You know, every week we.
So you were out for a couple months almost.
Well, the end of November is when she took me off.
Yeah.
The end of December, we're having our final team meeting of the year.
Yeah.
And when she would go over the leaderboards and the issue paid and all that for us, my name was never there. Mm-hmm. She wasn't gonna.
Oh, she wasn't even reading your name, Tim.
No, but dude, at the end of the month,
yeah,
she said, and Jeff, I was running an appointment. She said, "You're going to be on the call, aren't you?" And I said, "I've got an appointment. I'll be in late."
Yeah.
I come in late, and she said, "There you are." She said, "Jeff, do you know how much you did this month?" I said, "I have no clue, Vivian. No clue. You know I don't." And I'm not good at math, so what is it? She said, "Guess." I said, "I don't know. I have no idea. I really." When we talk about numbers, man, dude, I just work.
Yeah.
I don't know how much is in my bank account. I don't care. I just work.
Right.
You know?
So you helped 90 families?
I helped 90 families.
Wow. Was that the most families you ever helped in a month? Really?
Ever.
What was your previous best? 40, 50? Maybe 40. So you did almost double in December.
Yeah. And I had no idea.
Wow.
None.
Yeah.
And it taught me what to focus on.
Yeah.
And then she kept me off of Slack. and I said, "Hey, I want back on." She said, "Why?" I said, "I just want back on.
Yeah.
You know, I just want, please." I think February she let me back on.
Yeah.
And now when she threatens me, which she will do, I told her, like you spoke with Austin, and Austin loves being yelled
Yes,
at.
I love Austin.
He loves being yelled at. And she yelled at me one time, and I took it personal.
Okay.
And I called her, and I said, "Vivian," I said, "that may work for Austin.
Yeah.
It may work for so-and-so and so-and-so. It does not work for me. It just doesn't."
Was it demotivating?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It doesn't work. And she's never yelled at me.
Yeah.
She just threatens to take me off the Slack. I went through a bad time.
Yeah.
Just sales. I didn't know what I was going to do. It was just, I wasn't doing my meditation.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't praying. I was just
got off track
sorry
a little bit.
I lost track.
Yeah.
I was still working, but I lost track, and I didn't know if I wanted to do this anymore.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, how many ups and downs do I want to?
It's a roller coaster, man.
And she said, "Listen, you want to quit, you quit. There's nothing I can do to help you."
Yeah.
And she said, "Do you want to be successful?" And I said, "No, Vivian, no." No, I just want to come in here and work and just see people, So, no. What kind of stupid question is that? She said, "When you think that you could talk to me in a civil manner, then you call me back. But I'm going to say goodbye." And she hung up.
Yeah.
And, of course, the next day I was feeling so bad about it. I called and apologized. I said, "I'm sorry. You didn't deserve that. And I know you're here for me." So I worked through it. She said, "Are you meditating?" I go, "No." She said, "Are you reading?" I said, "No." "Okay, you know what to do?" I said, "I do."
Yeah.
And so.
Well, that's awesome. You know what's great? You said earlier you're 63.
Yeah.
Most agents are in their 20s and 30s.
Yeah.
I'm 37 or 38, something like that, one or the other.
That's not old.
But for an agent, I'm old.
Yeah.
And I think it's amazing that being 63, you're about 60 when you joined us.
Yeah.
For you to be able to change so much at 60 years of age is an anomaly. Most people your age are like, they got it all figured out. No one can tell them anything. Whether they're successful or not, it's like, no, I know everything. And you were open-minded enough to go, because Vivian's and Adrienne are my age.
Yes.
You were open-minded enough to go, let me listen to these younger guys. They got something figured out. Why?
Why have I been able to change?
Yeah.
You know, my people are retired, dude.
Yeah.
All my friends are retired. And here's the thing. One of the things that goes with my mindset training and my reading, Dave Anderson. When you surround yourself with people that are saying, hey, man, you're working too hard. You need some time for yourself. And I tell them now, I've even had to tell my wife.
Yeah.
Now I'm not going to get rid of my wife.
No.
I've told my friends, I said, listen, you're either going to support what I'm doing because I'm doing this for a reason. It has nothing to do with, it has to do with personal reasons. But you either support it or get out of my life. I don't need the negativity. I'm going to do what I need to do. You did what you did. You're retired.
Right.
I'm not.
Yeah.
And I have some whys. You know, my wife is my main thing. I have 4 grandchildren that I want to see more of. My daughters, you know, I want to be able to do some of the things that in life I haven't been able to do, and my wife and I haven't been able. We want to do some traveling.
Yeah.
You know, and the beautiful thing is I could do this from anywhere.
Absolutely.
And I will. You know, we're going to. She wants to winter a month down the Keys.
Okay.
Next year, so we'll probably do that.
Nice.
Going to go to Europe this year.
Yeah. That's awesome, dude.
So I probably won't work from
So that's
Europe.
your why.
Yeah.
Is
my
your
wife is
wife,
my
your
wife,
grandkids.
and my family.
Yeah. That's awesome.
That's
So anyone watching who sees this and goes, you know, I'd love to work with that guy. Are you on social right now? Are you doing any promo or marketing?
Yeah,
Put you on the spot.
I'm on Facebook.
You're on Facebook, okay.
And I have an Instagram account.
Okay.
It's at Jeff Camara.
And that's Komara.
Yep.
At Jeff Comera.
How about my phone number? That's an easy way to get
Have at it, bro. Go ahead.
256-652-6030. Call me. That's a good way to get
Perfect.
me. Yeah.
So if you're looking at this business and Jeff looks like a good fit for you, which seems like it would be for anyone, reach out. Like to end with some fun stuff, Jeff. This has nothing to do with insurance, nothing to do with anything outside of our staff here provided me 21 or 23 fun questions to pull from. So
all right.
You can blame them if you don't like them. All right, let's see. So we're talking about travel. Let's see, one country that you would travel to if you could.
Oh, Italy.
Italy.
Going. Yep.
Okay.
Going. No doubt. That's my mother's side of the family.
Yeah.
Is my grandfather's from.
They're from there?
Yeah. Yep.
Nice.
And so we're going to go. I think in Austin's getting married in Italy.
Is he?
Maybe this year, maybe
Okay.
next, but that's I want to go to his wedding. I'm going to crash. I'll be a wedding crasher if he doesn't invite me. But he invited me.
There you
already.
go. I think you could pull off a wedding crasher.
Yeah.
Are you a coffee drinker?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Iced coffee in the winter or no?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay.
Why not?
Dunkin' or Starbucks?
I'm making it home. I don't.
Oh, you're a homebody.
I'm
Okay.
a homebody. Yeah,
Gotcha.
I got an espresso machine for
Oh,
us.
man, we were just talking about getting one.
Yeah.
Yeah, is it worth it?
Yeah, we enjoy it.
Yeah.
You know, I asked Adriano, hey, man, what's a good, because he's a coffee snob.
yeah,
he's
bet.
a coffee snob bad. And he said, get this
You could just
one.
see him with it doing, drinking his coffee, doing
yeah.
this to me, judging me.
Yeah. And I can't, what's the name of this machine I got? I can't remember the name of it, but he took the word and twisted it.
Yeah.
It's a Gazia. He said, oh, a gotcha. I go, no, Gazia. He said, no, I gotcha. I said, what do you mean? He said, it gotcha. Like you made the wrong choice. Anyway.
That's Adriano for you.
Yep.
Last one. You movie guy?
Oh, yeah.
What's your favorite movie?
Just one?
Just one.
Just one. Oh, wow.
Imagine this. All right, Elon Musk. He wants to move us all to Mars someday, right?
I'd go.
You're getting ready to go, but he said, Jeff, we only got room for you to bring one movie to watch for the rest of your life on Mars. What would that be?
Godfather 2.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
I knew I liked you, Jeff.
If they were out of stock, though, I'd say
Yeah,
Outlaw
what's the-
Josie Wells.
Okay, there you go.
doubt.
All right, man. Well, I appreciate you coming up doing this. Hopefully you find your wallet.
Yeah.
The good thing is you can just go sell policies and make your money back.
That's
so
right.
That's good.
And I have that thing on my phone. My wife said, hey, you could use you have that wallet, your wallet. I go, yeah, but how do I use it? I've never used it.
And that was a good time
I
to
used
learn.
it for that this morning. I
did?
I said,
First
how do I
time?
use this? The girl says, I just do this.
Man, look at you. Learning
Yeah,
all
man,
kinds
I'm
of
learning
new
all
tricks.
kinds of things. Yep.
Not your average 63-year-old, that's for
No,
damn sure. Well, I appreciate you coming up doing this. Guys, thanks
Mike.
for tuning in, watching. You can find us here every week on True Talk. We'll see you next week.